Welcome to Gaming with Bare Hands. I am Bare Hands. We are going to be looking at a Clash Royale video today, highlighting for a final video on the blind deck challenge. Really hope you guys have given this a try, because the blind deck challenge is probably my favorite challenge they have come out with. Tons of fun. This thing is a blast, and I really think it kind of helps you become a more rounded player. It really forces you to take new deck combinations, sometimes not all that great, and try and figure out how to use them in a match. My last 5 blind challenges have been 2 complete victories, 12 wins, so I've gotten 4 out of 5 with a pretty high 5th game there with 10. I'm going to give you 2 pieces of advice that I would say helped me when I was going into each battle. First of all, you're going to thrive in this if you're used to playing different decks. Also, this is a 6-minute match. If I feel like I have very little pushing potential, or I just don't feel good about the deck combination, what I'm thinking of is for the first 3 minutes, I'm going for a draw. Try not to allow them to get any damage off of your tower. And what that will allow you to do is figure out all of their cards, figure out how you could defend in the most, what's the word I'm looking for? In the most beneficial way, the least amount of elixir, and that will then allow you to push with a strong counter push. You really want to use as much of that time as possible, especially if you're uncomfortable with the deck. So let's jump into a couple of games, just kind of give you my thought process, a couple of cool plays, a couple of awesome decks that I was able to get my hands on. Really just some good, solid fun in these blind deck challenges. Alright, this first game against Heisenberg here was a lot of fun. I got to play with the P.E.K.K.A. and I saw Musketeer Archers, and I felt very confident in being able to use some nice combinations with a good tank and some nice backup. I throw the P.E.K.K.A. down early, which might have been a little rushy, and he throws a Lumberjack Prince down. So I decide probably my best option here is to pull those units to the middle and allow the P.E.K.K.A. to help in defending against this Prince, because that is a heavy hitter. I'm able to then get the archers behind the P.E.K.K.A., and that is a sweet counter to his rushed push, allowing me to then have a pretty healthy P.E.K.K.A. running in. His princess luckily locks onto our P.E.K.K.A. there, and we just have this steam-rolling monster walking up to decimate his tower with one swing. Also, the fact that that princess locked onto the P.E.K.K.A., allowing our goblin barrel to just take control of that tower, was awesome. He's going to then come in here with the Dark Prince and the Mega Minion, and I opt to go ahead and throw the P.E.K.K.A. down again to soak with the Ice Golem. Really cool combination there, getting that down. He's got a double Prince deck. We should work together, right? P.E.K.K.A. double Prince deck. I'm going to go ahead and back this up with the Valkyrie. Go ahead and then throw some goblins down. Maybe a little too much invested there, as he does get a pretty nice poison down, but he doesn't distract the P.E.K.K.A., which is very odd. We get several hits off on the tower, and now with this tower sitting at 70, all I really have to do, you could see me, I was checking my Zap Spell damage, which I think is 68 damage. And so I didn't want to, like, rush here. I really couldn't mess it up, but I was playing extra safe. I felt like that was a good mindset to be in. And he's just wasting cards now. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Zap down, throw the Goblin Barrel down, get some units down, and finish out this game. And so, really great game against Heisenberg there. I feel like that first play is what won me the game. Getting those units to come over to the opposite lane to use my P.E.K.K.A. as a defense. Alright, when I saw these cards flash up on my screen, I laughed out loud. The most incredible combination for an Expo deck randomly developed for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw a bomber down in the back, because using the Expo, having a nice splash damage is great. And so you think, well, if I have good splash damage for the ground, I really want something for the air, and I have the Princess and the Ice Spirit and arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Expo down immediately. It's going to help us really well against his counter push on the other side. And then we throw skeletons down just to cycle, catching his miner that hits the field. Then I'm going to go ahead and throw down the princess and the ice spirit, which is going to freeze the goblins, instantly kill it with the princess there, and we have his tower obliterated on the first round. So good. Okay, so now sitting at this point, feeling really confident. After you take a tower that quickly with some really good reads, cycling cards that were just smart cycles to distract the stuff, he's going to come in here with the lumberjack, and I'm going to just kind of let that go and then soak some damage from the musketeer, and I don't place my knight late enough. So his musketeer doesn't cross the bridge, so I decide to go ahead and invest the elixir to take care of her early with the mini P.E.K.K.A. And then the mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to run up to its doom to these guards, because the guards are pretty much a hard counter to all P.E.K.K.A.s. And now I'm about ready to set up for my next Expo push. So I know most of his cards. I don't think I saw his bowler up to this point, so we're going to throw our bomber down. We're going to get ready with that Expo. He's going to get an interesting rush going, so I'm going to just arrow that and then ignore the miner. I'm going to get that ice spirit down as an anticipation. He smartly ignores it, but it jumps back and catches that bowler. The bowler takes out the bomber. And now, maybe shouldn't have played the knight here, but I was able to chip some good damage off of the bowler so he couldn't develop a really strong counter push. And so the bowler is maybe the best counter to the Expo ever, because it just sits there and hits all of the units that you play to block for the Expo, also hitting the Expo. So he's going to go ahead and throw his goblin barrel down again. We're going to get our Expo down. We're splashing over on the other side. We block. Look at that block with the miner, stopping it from taking out the Expo or the princess. Our ice spirit is going to stop the bowler, and then at this point, I'm just, I guess you could say I'm on cloud 9 here, doing some serious reads, and we're just going to go in for the kill. We throw the Expo down, and then a skeleton army. He zaps away the skeleton army. I throw the mini P.E.K.K.A. down, anticipating a lumberjack. Catches it right as it hits the battlefield. And then we're going to go ahead and, I don't know what that play was, but the princess is able to splash those goblins, and the mini P.E.K.K.A. with the Expo is able to take out his crown tower. You do not often 3-crown people with an Expo deck, but that just happened. So good. Alright, this game against M Powers. Interesting game here. We're going to start off slow with our princess, is usually how I like to do this. Get her going in the back.
Let's go.
He's going to go ahead and throw a Sparky down, switching over to his minion horde, then to wizard. Thankfully, he didn't play his minion horde for him, because our princess would have splashed the mess out of that card. And we get some decent damage off on his tower, bringing it down under 1,000. And now he's got 2 wizards coming at us, and we have to really defend here. So thankfully, I was rolled a deck with the guards, which were able to surround, allowing his wizard not to splash all of them. His Sparky has to use one of his shots there, and then we have a prince running, and his counter of choice is the minion horde, which does not kill the prince in time, splashes onto the tower, and our musketeer is going to get a snipe shot there off in between the fire spirits, killing his tower. So, feeling great again about the beginning of this game. We are then going to be able to kind of save backup elixir. We have an elixir advantage at this point. He's going to get a hog, miner going down. I throw a wizard down. That was kind of an interesting play. And the goblins are really going to help out there, not allowing the hog to get another 20 hits off on our tower. He does a nice ice wizard here to mitigate the damage coming into him. Also defending against our wizard, which fortunately for us is not in range of the tower when these guys meet up. And so our wizard is going to win this duel. Our princess is going to go down over here on the left side, because we want to prepare for the push over on the left-hand side. Knowing that I've got the graveyard and he has Sparky is just psychologically healthy for me, because I know even if he's got a nice strong Sparky push coming at us, the graveyard is just going to stop the thing for like 10 seconds. We miss our arrows there. His minions do kind of a nice little maneuver around the arrows, just place them really poorly. And then I get a really nice guard goblin plant here, allowing him to really only get 2 hits with the hog and not use but 6 elixir to counter. We get the princess down to chip a little bit of damage off. Every little bit helps. And then with Sparky coming down, I'm going to go ahead and throw down the graveyard. You can see Sparky targets the skeletons now instead, allowing us to just kind of defend really well here. A rocket coming in, missing our musketeer but getting damage off on the tower. He was just desperate to start getting some damage onto our tower there. And our prince, even though... Oh, our prince didn't get a shot there. Oh, that hurts. I threw a psychic arrows, which didn't hit anything, but if you notice over on the right-hand side, he was busy defending the left-hand tower, rightfully so, because we had some big damage-dealing units coming in, but our stuff over on the right ended up taking out his tower. Really interesting fighting Sparky with the graveyard. It's such a great counter to the card. All right, this game against Alex Garapa. I loved this game. This game was so fun. He gets a bowler down, and we get a Valkyrie down, which I don't like as a combination here. So what I'm going to do, now knowing that I can back this up, but really my minions are just going to die, so I decide let's just rush over on the right-hand side to force him to deal with it. And check out the Elite Barbarian minion combination rushing down that right-hand tower to oblivion. So that tower's gone. Did you blink? Did you miss it? And then over here on the left, because we invested so much on the right, obviously we're going to get hit pretty hard here. And that's okay, because I felt like if we pushed really hard in the left-hand lane, the bowler and the archers were going to shut down any card that I have. So in that instance where it's like, wow, I really don't have a great counter to this, don't allow him to back it up too much and just push the other side. Now, a Royal Giant means he had way more elixir than I would have liked, and we're unable to defend against that. So don't freak out. We're okay. We can still do a pretty good job of stopping this from getting a ton of damage on the King's Tower. I'm not too concerned with the King's Tower at this point. It's not like it's under 1,000 or anything. And we're just going to start putting some pressure on over on the tower. Now, you ever have those games where you get to the point where you know the other guy's got you figured out? He's like, all right, I know what you have. So I kind of got to that point here knowing with a Royal Giant and a Lumberjack and a Bowler, I feel like he's going to get a Death Ball going that is so powerful that we're not going to be able to defend against it. I feel actually pretty confident in that fact. So I make a decision here that if he pushes for our King's Tower, we're going to push for his King's Tower. And now I just want to cycle, so I go ahead and throw my Prince down after he throws his Royal Giant on the field on the left-hand side. And he throws a Bowler down on the left-hand side, so it's like, all right, it's go time. Those are slow-moving units. We're going to throw everything down over on the right because I countered his last attempt to stop us, and we just steamroller over on the right-hand side. He goes ahead and gets his poison down, but that is not going to be enough. Our minion, our witch, our miner, they're going to rush into the tower and take it out before the bowler Royal Giant, goodness, these card names, are able to even get near our King's Tower, and we get the win there. So again, this has just been the most fun challenge ever, allowing me to not have to worry about what cards I'm playing with, because it does it for me. And yes, you do get stuck with some really, really trashy decks and get hard countered not having cards to deal with their deck. But if you play smart, really defensive, go for the draw for the first 3 minutes. Once you figure out what their cards are, then go in there for the kill. If you're chipping 100 more damage off per hit on their tower, that's all you need. You have 3 minutes in overtime. Don't get ahead of yourself. You gotta let the battle kind of determine what you do. You can't just go all in before knowing what your opponent's cards are, unless you really have no other choice, or you're just wasting elixir. When you're playing against an opponent and you're just throwing everything onto the field, you have an attack that you like to do, and you don't know what your opponent's cards are, you can't expect to win all the time, unless you're really strategically figuring out what they have before you start throwing your main attacks. You're going to lose more often than not, in my opinion. I really feel like the Blind Deck Challenge has helped me in my approach to the game, though. I hope it has helped you as well. Let's open up this free chest here. Some gold, some furnaces. Thanks so much for the likes, the comments, subscribing. Don't forget to come back for more Gaming with Bare Hands. I hope to see you in the next video. Have an awesome day. See you next time. Hasta la vista.